Some of the features I want to talk about for the Crosstrek Wilderness, one of the big points is the tires. So these are now a 17-inch wheel, and we've got the more rugged Yokohama Geolandar. These do have the 3-peak rating, so if you want, you can drive with them all the way through the winter. For your best performance, of course, getting a winter set of tires for our extreme weather is advised. You also have your LED steering responsive headlights. You've got the fancy hexagonal LED fog lights. Nice open grille. You've got the tie points with your anodized brushed copper, as well as the badging and detailing. This color is the Alpine Green. It is a wilderness specific color. And for your fuel door, it is a push-pop release. When your doors are unlocked, then your fuel door is also unlocked. When we move around to the back, you see this more rugged styling for your back bumper. Of course, if you go with a factory hitch, that is still going to be flush mounted. You don't lose any ground clearance. Manual tailgate is the only option with a Crosstrek, but Wilderness, you do get the rubber mats as well as the rubber floor mats throughout the vehicle. Comes with this cargo tray and cargo cover as standard features. Underneath the floor deck, you do have your spare tire, your jack stand, and your tow hook. Crosstrek also further redesign. You've got cup holders, whether you feel like tailgating or maybe it's for potted plants. The other items in the back of your trunk is going to be D-rings that are tie-down hooks at 2 points and shopping bag hooks here as well. Third row seat belt is tucked up to the side to be able to go through and set up for a middle seat passenger. The setup for the doors, very standard. You've got your left or right mirror adjust, and it's the good old Atari joystick to push it for the direction you want to go. Lock and unlock, you've got the auto setting for both front windows, back windows, and then this is your child window lock. So that will remove control of the windows from anyone except for the driver. With the cleaner design, now there are more unused buttons. This dial is going to be your gauge cluster, so that will allow you to brighten or dim your gauges, including your screen. Underneath here is a fuse panel, and then your hood release is just tucked under farther than you might expect. If we take a look at the controls on the steering wheel, this side is all about stereo controls and hands-free. So this would skip forward radio stations or tracks. Source is AM, FM, Sirius XM. And you can see now above the digital speedometer, there is a menu. The toggle will allow you to scroll through menu settings. Radio station, trip meter, distance till empty, the amount of fuel saved, and your time and distance of last drive. Of course, my standard is going to be the time and outside temperature, a balmy 23 degrees in the showroom. Also, you can answer a phone call, hang up a phone call, mute the radio, or use your voice controls. And then the volume control has moved down to this lower position. Horn, never forget the horn. And on the other side, this is going to be your adaptive cruise control. So you would enable your cruise using the top right button. Toggle down to set and up to resume when you're at the speed desired. These buttons are going to allow you to adjust the distance that you want as your safe following distance. You can increase or decrease. As you see, the graphic of lines means that when your screen pops up here, it'll give you the car, and then it'll give you lines in front of it. So each line, I think of as roughly equivalent to a car length. You can increase or decrease how close you want to be to the car in front of you without having to turn your cruise off. Lane centering is also another feature. It works in conjunction with the cruise control. So lane departure, which is tied into your eyesight. So that's your forward-facing cameras. You always have your lane departure on. That is going to be if you drift out of your lane, you're not paying attention, up to 65 kilometers an hour, you would get a notification there with a beeping saying lane departure. Above 65 kilometers, it's going to kind of nudge you back into your lane and then let you know of the lane departure. Lane centering is different as it is a more active set of steering. So when you're using your cruise and the eyesight can read both sides of the lane markings, you can choose to turn on lane centering and you will feel steering adjustments to keep you in your lane, and it'll be correcting you from both sides. You do, of course, have to keep your hands on the wheel as this is not a self-driving car. Below that, this is your drive mode. So I is your intelligent. That is going to be your eco. That'll be your default. If you choose to go into sport, it's going to just feel a little more peppy. It'll also use a bit more fuel. But when you turn the car off and turn it back on, it's always going to go back into intelligent mode. If you live in Manitoba, we all want to know where the heated steering wheel is, and that is down here. Pull towards you, and it will heat up in less than a minute. Another item to discuss is your headlights. So you see this is set on the auto setting. That means your headlights are going to be on daytime running lights. They'll automatically turn on when they decide it's dark enough, and they'll automatically shut down. If you're wanting to turn on your fog lights, it's this little bar right here, and that would mean your fog lights will be on when your headlights turn on as well. High beams will be pulling it towards you. And there is, of course, high beam assist. So that means while you're in the auto setting, you put on your high beams, they will be on. When a car is coming towards you, it'll dim them back down and it'll reset them back up when the car passes. Over here, you've got your windshield wipers. Down is intermittent, low and high. Pull towards you to wash your front window. And then this twist dial at the end, that's going to be your back wiper and washer. Also something to note, your back window washer will also rinse off your backup camera. Springtime, you will love that feature. Now we can get through the infotainment screen. So your most used button will be your home button right here. That's going to get you back to your main screen from whatever screen you're in. Top left is your radio. So you do have FM, AM. You've got 3 months free of Sirius XM with a new vehicle purchase. And this screen allows you to use a tuning and volume for your dials. Volume is here, tuning is here. To mute your radio, you can also just push the button. We've got it muted for your viewing enjoyment. And when you turn the dial to whatever setting you want, then you can press and hold until it beeps to set a radio station. You can choose what mode you're in up here. And when you're done with the radio, you can go back to your main screen. Phone would be your phone connections. So if you're wanting to add a device, it walks you through it. So you say yes. In your settings, you go into your Bluetooth. You will then connect. Once you connect through Bluetooth, it will then prompt you to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if you would so choose. Down in your settings, the first screen is all about the configurations for your screen, how you want it to be. You can also do your factory resets there, but also within sound, every noise that the car makes. Currently it's set on medium. You can adjust your incoming, your notifications, all of those volumes. Phone will be your phone connected. You can also change your car's name. And then when we go into the car setting, this is all your safety features. So I mentioned it, if you're going through a car wash and you want to turn off your pre-collision braking so that your car doesn't beep and brake for you, that would be here. Also, your forward collision warning is currently set on normal. You can make it a longer or shorter distance, but it also has all of the different settings that you can choose to set up within your safety features. Reverse automatic braking, your keyless entry system. Right now it's set so when you walk up to the driver's door, only the driver's door unlocks. If you have a full family and you want to switch it over to opening all doors, then you can absolutely do that here. Interior light set for 30 seconds. The rear seat reminder will always pop up. That is based off of opening a back door or the trunk before you get in, because we certainly don't want you to forget your children, your pets, or even your groceries. X mode, that's your four-wheel drive low system. So up to 40 kilometers an hour, you can choose to opt into X mode. So dirt and snow is going to be if you think you're going to get stuck, it snowed a lot and it's icy underneath, X mode will move power to whichever wheel has traction, and that will work up to 40 kilometers an hour, and then it'll kick you back into your regular all-wheel drive. The Wilderness does have the deep snow and mud setting. That is going to allow the wheels to spin to get you out of a sticky situation if needed. There is also, along this top bar, you can scroll through, there is common gauges, the weather, and there's a shortcut there for X mode as well. The next one to talk about is your My Subaru. So with every equipped Subaru that has My Subaru, you get 3 years free. That gives you the remote start and emergency services and quick connect to roadside assistance free for 3 whole years. This is app-based only. It is not tied to your key, totally different situations. So through the head unit here, you can make an appointment, you can connect to roadside assistance, or call the concierge. The other applications within the My Subaru is going to be up. If we look between, here we go, you can see right near your sunroof controls, in your headliner, there's a red and a blue. So you have your SOS button, you can connect to emergency services, and the blue would be the concierge. So if you're driving somewhere you're not familiar with, you're low on gas, and you want to know where there's a gas station, call the concierge. They'll be able to bounce off your location and give you directions. Display off is a great new feature. So it can put your screen to sleep. You're doing a night drive, you're concerned that your screen will be a distraction. This feature will allow your radio to keep on playing, but you won't have a bright screen to distract you. If you're needing your climate controls, because of course they're part of this screen, tap on it, you get your climate controls back up, and then the screen goes back to sleep. There are 2 ways of getting your screen back up. When you tap here, you see you've got the home button, or you can push and hold the volume for the count of 3, and your screen will be all back up and running. Good thinking, Subaru. So we've talked about the home button here. There's a grayed out space right here. That is for the auto start stop feature. So this is a green initiative when it meets the criteria for the vehicle when you get to a stoplight to turn the engine off. Saves fuel, saves emissions, and then when you're taking your foot off of the brake, off of the brake and you're going to the gas, the car will restart and you'll be up and going again. To the left of that is the AVH. That is auto vehicle hold. It is effectively a hill brake. So when you get to a stop and you have this feature turned on, it will hold you in place. You will then put your foot on the gas to release the vehicle from that stopped position. The car with a circle around it is another quick way to be able to get to your vehicle controls. Your driving assistance is your safety settings, or more settings will take you so that you can go into an American Drive and you want to move over to miles per gallon and your speed in miles. To the right of your home button is your manage devices. If you're wanting to connect other devices or switch between, that's going to be your button. Down at the bottom is our climate control. So we've got the on off. Your fan is conveniently all the way at the bottom of the screen, and the buttons are bigger, so easier for you to glance over and make adjustments. This box right above your fan, if you tap that, it gives you this great pop-up screen. So you can adjust your temperature with the sliders. You can also go to an auto setting, recirculate the air, turn on your air or max. You have the ability to sync or not sync. And the bottom row is all about where the air is blowing. When you don't touch this screen for 10 seconds, it'll also minimize. So you can get in, do the settings adjustments you need, and then it'll switch back off. A new button is your fan all. As we're realizing that people are not always driving with a full carload of people, currently it is keeping all of your climate controls more consolidated in the front zone. If you turn on the fan all, then it'll be pushing more heating or cooling back into the back zone so your passengers can be comfortable. You also have these hard buttons on the outside of the screen. So directly under your volume, that is your front defrost. And you have these here that you can adjust your climate control 1/2 degree with each button push. On the other side of the screen, you have your back defrost and your heated mirrors, and you have your passenger's climate controls as well. The other item to note, underneath this little stealthy white sticker, this is hiding your four-way flasher. So this is your hazard light. We go down. Below the screen, you can see we now are updated. We have USB-A, USB-C, and we still have a lingering auxiliary plug. If you have a great use for that, please let me know, because I don't know what it is anymore. Also, with the Onyx and up, you have this wireless charging mat. It's great. It's convenient. It's never going to charge your phone as fast as plugging it in, but you also do have the ability to turn it off. So right in front of this yellow sticker is your power button. If you're just going to use it as a storage cubby, I do advise turning the power off. Moving down below, we've got your gear shift. This is fairly standard. You do have manual mode, which you would use in conjunction with your paddle shifters. Heated seats, and this is your electronic parking brake. So you pull it up to set. Make sure you put your foot on the brake when you push down to release your parking brake. You also do have another 12-volt adapter here, so that's your lighter adapter. With the Crosstrek Wilderness, you have the fantastic StarTac seating. So this is a soft touch polyurethane water-resistant seating, cleans with a damp cloth, very low maintenance, and you have 10-way power adjust seats. So this back control, this is of course your lumbar support. You should always know how to open your hood, so we've popped it from the inside. Everything is always central, so right above the Subaru logo, if you have your hand down, you will feel a little latch. Slide it to your left, and that's going to let you pull the hood up. We've got the prop rod right here, and that's going to have you ready. If you're checking your washer fluid, it is all the way over to your right while you're looking at the engine. That'll be directly in front of your battery. The most important things to note, your washer fluid. One reservoir works for the front and the back. This is going to be where your oil is going in, and for the Crosstrek redesign, it is now a 0W16 full synthetic. This is your coolant, this is your dipstick over here, and your brake fluid is all the way at the back. I do want to congratulate you on your decision for a new 2025 Crosstrek Wilderness. And to introduce myself, I'm Allison Fenton. I am your Subaru gal up here in Canada. I'm located at Jim Pattison Subaru South in Winnipeg. I look forward to being able to answer all your questions. And if you do have any questions, you want to see a particular vehicle, please let me know. I'm looking forward to growing and developing this channel, being able to answer all of your Canadian Subaru questions. So again, my name is Allison, and thanks for meeting the Crosstrek Wilderness.